It is very, very underestimated. Of course, you do need to be careful. Some people, like, they throw it on the boat, get confident, thinking, I'm not taking any damage. I could press this, I could press this, I could charge in here, and then suddenly all their health's gone because the tail effect kicks in. It's non-lethal, sure, but, when you've got 1 health left, it's not much difference, is there? S4, though, still hasn't committed to an item. I mean, this is a Radiance. He's got 3.2k in the bank.
Yeah, that's an interesting point to make. Yeah, he is stacking it up pretty hardcore. There are so many different ways to build them, but I really don't know exactly how he wants to go about it. He is going to be the single target menace that they need, but how to actually make it work here? We're actually going to see a bit of a skirmish going on, but the ensnare locking down on the Nyx assassin. Going to be able to get a nice stun coming on through. Smugly should drop down in just a moment. There's a big Illuminate going across as well. As for an Ake taking some big hits, Queen of Pain trying to finish off the Shadow Demon. It should be happening in just a moment. Test of Faith. Gonna send it back just barely in time. Fata with the Scream just coming off cooldown, but unfortunately won't be able to seal the deal. Now, going on Illuminate, they are going to be able to finish off Ake, I believe, with the BKB active on Queen of Pain. It's most certain, and now, going on in, there is going to be that blinding light going on EGM. He can't stay on target, and instead Black is just the one to right-click down. S4 getting stunned up. Big damage coming on through. He gets rooted up, is going to be able to get the ultimate off, though. Another root coming on top of him. He does get dropped. No, still alive. There's that last right-click to finish the job. Meanwhile, Fata trying to clean things up. In pursuit, going on top of EGM here. X marks the spot, will hold him in place, though. Torrent gonna connect here and force them back. Possibly no. They're gonna keep it going. Man mode hardcore. Have to watch Queen of Pain. She actually will die to this demonic purge, but at the cost of the Shadow Demon's life. And actually, no, she survived. Mechanism. Really, really good timing for her. I think it was Mechanism at least, too. No, actually, she just was able to Magic Wand. Good bottle and Magic Wand usage. And barely keeping herself up.
Just missed it. I want to call out a couple of things that happened in that fight there. Really, really smart play there from Alliance. That's going to be so frustrating. We saw Queen of Pain jumping Shadow Demon. Couldn't quite kill him. First he disrupts. Then he Magic Wands. Then he gets healed up by a mech. Then he jumps into the forest and gets teleported back to home by Chen. As we see Bulldog about to get destroyed there. And this Bulldog does get wrecked. Then Chen. She was then gunning after Chen. BKBs chases after Chen. Chen boxes himself into the trees, cuts line of sight, and then kills himself with his own Centaur.
Are you
denies
serious?
Himself.
Wow.
Yes, I am serious. He pulled that off, and then on top of that, the gem was then recovered. Chen's gem was then recovered by Kunkka. So that, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Sure, they lost Shadow Demon. Now Black, they're going to take him out. The only real loss there was S4 getting picked off because he overextended a little bit too much, but they might be able to get that back right now as they try and teleport out. Not going to happen. Disruption comes in, and now Cinnering goes down along with past Nyx. Queen of Pain, though, going in balls to the wall. I think she's going to regret this, though.
Close at hand. The Gemini will not connect, though, and I think she is going to be able to survive. Just bottling away. One more blink, and yeah, it's maximum movement speed, but it's not going to change the fact that she's just so darn quick with that max blink. Either way, though, cleaning up 3 great heroes, 2 supports, 1 gyrocopter, taking away a tower and turning things around, and my goodness, I'm going to have to personally go back and look at the replay on that one, because that seems like highlight top 10 plays right there, because that is awesome. Denying himself after all that, test of faithing back to the Shadow Demon and getting a suicide. Wow, my oh my, that is some awesome Dota. But anyways, yeah, Ake of course is well known for his Chen and making it work here. Now curious to see what their next move is going to be. Mechanism back up and available. They have the Desolator as well. I think they want to look at Roshan, and right now as far as Radiant Vision, there's nothing to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, Aki, best Chen in the West, I gotta say. Looks like they're just gonna go after the Roshan for sure, but I mean, they should be able to get this too, especially with the Desolator just picked up by S4. That extra negative armor is gonna help them destroy Roshan very easily. And it looks like right now, with no vision as well from the Radiant side, they've got no way to stop that. I would say the Radiant going for some offensive wards here. I like this ward they've got up in the enemy jungle, just trying to watch out for Chen or any rotations there, and make it difficult for them as we see the rocket chase Smuggling all the way back to the base there. But now, I think Weaver got that Aegis. Yes, Weaver did get that Aegis there. So Weaver committing to the Desolator. This just makes him a bit of a glass cannon, but we've got to consider he's got Chen backing him up with both the mech as well as the Hand of God. So he's actually going to be relatively hard to put down, especially if Chen starts throwing out some massive tests of faith that send him home.
Yeah, so, yeah, in a good position there. Chen and Weaver have some really good synergies, and, of course, the heal, as you were mentioning, is one major aspect of that. He effectively has 2 or 3 lives here. You can consider the fact that he has the Aegis the Immortal, that's the second life, and of course the time lapse as well can bring him back up to almost nothing to full, or if he has to, he can even buy back and time lapse back into an engagement. So does have the opportunity to really just stay active and sustain, and that's really the power of Weaver, is making sure that every single point of HP that he has is put to very good use here. So we'll see how it plays on out. But for right now, Gyrocopter moved in towards a bigger and better item, but it might be halted very, very quickly if they get this gank off right. So blanking on in, waiting for the opportunity. S4 using the Shikuchi, and there, Black is going to have to BKB out quickly if he's going to survive. Desolator along with the damage from the Scarabs. He's going to be dropped down here. Synderen will fall, but Black able to TP on away. So he does at least get himself out. I'm not actually sure why they didn't focus more on the Gyrocopter in that situation.
I'm just wondering if that was an accident. I don't know if Bulldog was watching Gyrocopter on his screen, he wouldn't have been able to see Cooper. Like, he might have hit him accidentally. Although that said, I was watching Gyrocopter, so I didn't see how Bulldog's aim was. Did you catch it?
As far as bringing down Synderen?
Yeah, did he aim directly for Cinder, or was it possibly like he caught him accidentally?
No, it wasn't an accident. They just kind of focused on target specifically. So they found him in that position, trying to help out Gyro, and it worked out.
All right, then. Yeah, I mean, there we go. So, but here's the thing I'm worried about. The fact that Weaver's not really going to be able to go for... he might be forced to go for a defensive item next, but if he is, that's going to leave him wide open to the problem of Gyrocopter's going to get his Monkey King bar up running fairly soon, and then he's on to Butterfly after that. And, of course, Black is farming still very well, 450 gold per minute. Kanka and Weaver doing well themselves, 400 plus gold per minute themselves, but at the same time, if they're trying to bring down Black and he gets some lucky evasion procs, it's going to be very, very irritating for him, especially if he dodges a big crit on the splash. It's going to be very, very frustrating for Kanka. But, you know, I just wonder if Weaver can really afford... Can Weaver justify going full glass cannon and just going straight for a Monkey King bar? Because, I mean, Black's been building the same items almost every game.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. But I do think that she has time to work with. If S4 wants to wait on the Monkey King bar, it will be okay for them. They do see Daedalus coming out for the Kunkka. And then, yeah, Weaver... He has 2,000 gold at his disposal. He can go in for a combination of items, and that evasion isn't going to come out all that rapidly. So he, of course, doesn't need the Monkey King bar that readily, and as such can go for something with a little more durability, at least a casual Vit booster, if nothing else.
I mean, yeah, that's always an option. I mean, we've seen plenty of heroes just going, I just want the Vitality boost, just for the extra health. I mean, that will definitely help him out quite a bit. That said, it looks like they've found an ancient stack that belongs to the Radiants. Might be able to clean that up in just a moment. We see Cooper Light just trying to ward off this creep push, though. Going to clean that up easily. Chen almost copying that Illuminate to the face there. They are going to swing around possibly and just try and gank the Bear up here. Bear, though, realizes something's wrong and teleports away. So he's going to get away just nice and easy. The Bear also going to get caught out, but it's going to run straight back to base. And meanwhile, it looks like Alliance I could get much to show to this. I might actually go for the tier 2 tower now on the top lane.
Pressure coming in. They actually force out the mechanism coming out from these guys here because of a nice low to high ground Illuminate coming in from Synderen, but it's not enough to stop them from taking this tier 2 tower. They're just going to be able to bring it down quickly. I'm not exactly sure why they're not putting as much
top
pressure.
Top lane, the rack. Bottom lane,
yeah, they're doing a lot of damage there. Going to go on the back end of things. Fata and Black doing work, so they have to make this fight count. Boat connecting with the Torrent onto Koikova, burning him down quickly. Now, big damage coming out from Paz and Synderen, but they go for the Test of Faith back. They go in, they just want to try to force them off this tier 3 tower. Force staff away from the Clockwork, but not able to finish off on the Queen of Pain. And now Black is the one that just has to run on out of there, going for the BKB TP, and the Cogs will not actually get close enough. I actually was on cooldown at the time, so they do end up losing their tier 3 tower. And as far as kills, they only bring down Koikova in return.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely fairly costly for them, I believe. So just going to check the gold minute. We see again the gold minute there skyrocketing for Black. Some more. Just basically pulling away bit by bit, and this worries me quite a lot just because he's going to have a huge presence where it's going to get to the point where he can accident, like Aki and Shabby, but this is a really big problem where they can be accidentally killed by the flak cannon. Just because he's going to have so much raw damage, just the flak cannon hits are going to bring them down before they really know what's going on, and that bothers me quite a bit. Without that support there, I just don't think they're going to be nearly as effective. Meanwhile, though, it looks like they're going to burst down Kanka very easily. Smugly also copying the Carapace there, and it looks like they're going to try and just get a return kill there on pass, throw down the Cold, going to trap him in there, but the creep also going to absorb some of those battery assaults charges. It's now Queen of Pain also still helping out here. Bulldog really changing his mind about this. Hooks in, will get the kill down, but it looks like they're going to lose S4 as well. That was probably not a good result there, as now S4 going to come back up with the Aegis. In fact, he's going to dive forward, so they might actually be able to pick off Black if they're lucky. His Chance creep army is coming in here. Can they get a stun down? No, they're going to throw in a blinding light. And again, the root proc comes out. Time-lapse use. Black, though, still charging in and fighting. It looks like they're not too scared at all.
No, I mean, in this position here, they can kind of hold the line. Although it is a very high HP Weaver everybody just not really too concerned about what the other one could do. They are going to fall back because there's nothing to gain from that situation, but also any kind of really, really direct aggression would have been an overextension on either team's part. Either way, right now, yeah, just a lot coming out back and forth. Just really, really liking the maneuvers from both the teams, but specifically the initiation there, the Nyx Assassin finding the opportunity to bring down the Kunkka there. He went in, he was hoping for a crit, Daedalus crit on the Queen of Pain, just right-clicking a creep nearby. Could have brought her down to critical HP levels, but unfortunately, of course, not able to do so as it does not proc. And from there, he was revealed, he was visible, and Nyx Assassin punishes him for it dearly. So that's what kind of started off all this mess here, and that's kind of not the grounds you want to start initiating on. We do see Weaver will be picking up that Black King bar, setting himself up to survive these combos of Queen of Pain, the Illuminate, and the Call Down, as well as Nyx. So really, really good for him, but yeah, the next big thing is going to have to be the Monkey King bar, and he has to step up the farm if he's going to be able to make that relevant very, very rapidly.
I'm going to say, as long as Kunkka's got, like, with Kunkka with his crit and the splash, I mean, anything, it's like a dream, anything is possible. No matter how bad this game gets, I mean, if he gets enough damage, he could accidentally wipe a whole bunch of heroes, so we'll see whether or not they can make that happen. But right now, the offensive ward being placed down here on the low ground, it's giving them a fair bit of sight, in fact, being rewarded as well, just while they have the time to move forwards. And, I mean, they get a few pickoffs here. This could quite easily translate to some lost towers or even some heavy pressure there. That said, they've realized the bear is pushing in on their bottom racks once again. So whatever they do here in the mid lane, they're going to have to make it quick. In fact, the Radiant going to try and delay them, throw down the glyph straight away. Pressure on the top lane for the Radiants. Well, it's the 3v5 here at the moment, and it looks like Alliance are going to have to send at least somebody back to deal with it in a second. There we go. It's going to be EGM. He's being sent back to the fountain right now by the Test of Faith. So we'll see what he does to handle the bear. And again, looks like Black still pushing the top lane though, Blaze.
Yeah, without EGM in this position, they cannot go aggressively on this tier 2. He is their damage. Weaver does contribute quite a bit here, but it's not going to be sufficient. They have to just kind of decide if they're going to push out or defend, and they can't really just wish-wash in between the two. And that's very difficult because, of course, Kwaikwa, as well as we saw earlier, Fata and Black, happy to punish them if they try to go just barreling down the mid lane. You have to kind of lay the groundwork, spread it out, and get the creep wave pushed on every single lane before you can actually bring it on tower. And that's something that's easier said than done when you consider how much counter push is available at Mouse's disposal, whether it's Flat Cannon, the Scream, or even that Illuminate primarily. So that's going to be the main thing to look for is the creep lane momentum. And the only kind of thing that will break that monotony back and forth is going to be that Roche, which will be spawning in just about a minute and a half.
And of course, I mean, the other big key that Mouse have up their hands is the fact that across the map, they have much better mobility with the Keeper of the Light being able to recall. So basically, they can have Queen of Pain or Bear or whoever just go really deep in enemy territory, push, and counter push, and then just set that fight up, or set that push up, and then if they want him back, they just recall him back. It's not going to be a problem for them at all. So they've always got, or even, you know, push two lanes at once and then recall them to the right lane to fight. But now it looks like Mouse Sports going to back off here, while it looks like Alliance going to group up behind their tier 2 mid. And Chen with his Centaur army at the moment, 3 Centaurs, plenty of chain stun if they can land them. But it's getting to the point where Chen's creep become a lot less relevant. And I mean, the Centaurs with this, I mean, they're really slow. It's going to be an issue getting them in range. Almost want to see him try and trade them out for Dire Trolls, just because the net has a much better cast range on it.
Okay, so right now in this situation, as far as initiation potential, I really like what Admiral Bulldog can do, as well as Ake, now that he has such durable creeps. I mean, he has these Centaur Conquerors with Vlads up. They can go in and just kind of meaty brawlers jump in on the front lines here, and the Gyrocopter can only dominate one of them. But I don't know, in this position here, I also am a little bit afraid of specifically for Clockwork. He went for Force Staff and Ghost Scepter, and when you think about the Call Down and Queen of Pain nuking him down, it can be very, very dangerous. He's still going to try to go for the hook, but instead gets bashed on up, pops off the Ghost Scepter, but cannot get the cogs, unfortunately. Pulls him in instead of pushing him out, and as a result, there is going to be an easy escape for Koikova, trying to at least finish off his Spirit Bear here. They should be able to accomplish this if they get one more little disable on top of it. But away it runs, leading them on a wild bear chase that will be ended prematurely by the swarm ticking itself away in just a moment. No expiring, and recall back to safety. Unfortunate for them, but they should be able to pick up Roche just because of how far away Kwaikova is now. His TP is on cooldown, he's back at base, and as great of an item as he just picked up in the Assault Cuirass, he really can't just branch out and go in to help out. Then, oh wait, never mind, recall. Forgot about that Keeper Light fella. He definitely does work there. So he's back up in the action, and Pa is going to get a nice double impale coming out through. S4 popping off the BKB, trying to do work, but Satanic's up on the Gyrocopter, and he is ready to just jump on into this in a very short time period. S4 wasting his BKB entirely, and now they don't really have much ground to stand on when it comes down to the next engagement.
This is going to be tough indeed. That said, you know, that crit there on the Shadow Blade could do just about... I mean, like right now, this could cause a ton of damage. That said, I mean, at the wrong moment, if Nyx throws up the Carapace, obviously Kunk is going to insta-give himself, which would be fairly embarrassing, but we'll see. We'll see. As it looks like he's working towards that BKB as well. Only about a 500 gold away from it or so. It looks like this is going to send the bear forward to siege. They're going to have the actual Lone Druid hang back a fair distance. Chen going to try and chase it off with Creep On, but they're just too slow. And unfortunately, see the stun, such a long cast animation. Illuminate's going to come through. They're just trading hits there on the creep for the most part. EGM going to cop. No, just going to go invis and dodge that. The Flak Cannon, though, tearing the Centaurs apart. It's just not much you can do about it. And I really think he should... I mean, that said, of course, he's at the mercy of whatever creeps spawn, but he really wants to trade him up some creep with some distance, I think.
Yeah.
It's just right now, they're just not effective at all. But the bear with his salt, the basher, as well as the armlet, very dangerous indeed.
Yeah.
Have they put the armlet drain in yet on the bear?
No, that's going to be 6.78.
Because he's not actually... I don't know if I'm wrong, but the bear doesn't appear to have it actually activated.
No, he does
if
not.
it's on my screen, it might be bugged.
No, he does not have it currently active. Probably forgot it with the most recent summon. I think every time you summon it or when he respawns or whatever, you're going to have to turn it back on. So I believe he summoned it only about 40 seconds ago and has since not activated. But it's only going to reduce his damage by a little bit there, so hopefully not going to be the biggest impact, and he should have it up for the next fight. But unfortunately, that might be coming very, very quickly. S4 doing a lot of right-click damage with his Desolator, bring down the Roche, and it will be killed by the Dire, picked up by the Weaver. And in this position, S4 even popping off the time lapse to bring himself back up to full. Illuminate will hit him pretty hard in the face, but beyond that, they took what they wanted. They got a lot of gold experience, and of course that Aegis the Immortal now jumping on in. Bulldog gonna connect onto pause here. Not the target he was really looking for, but still at least forcing out the fight and breaking it up with the cogs in the midst of things. Now, big Hand of God going across from Chen. Boat will come on through. Kunko's rum on just about everybody, but EGM getting bursted down despite it. So much damage coming out through. Nice disruption coming out from Spuglik. EGM on the front lines does not get a crit though. Chasing down, unfortunately, just the Keeper of Light, and he will fall. S4 lost that Aegis very, very quickly. Gonna be able to Shikuchi on away? No. He does get stunned on out from the Impale, and that was just atrocious a team fight for them. The initiation there specifically for Admiral Bulldog, he got the cogs in the river, and that would have been great if they were not the ones trying to get right on through there, but unfortunately they were. They were the ones trying to use the river as their juncture to get to the enemy team, and instead it was a block for themselves, more so than the opposition. Now jumping in to blink, the Scythe coming out on top of Bulldog. He will be disrupted though and forced out away. Really, really good move from Smuglik, and of course Bulldog getting on out of there as well. So rough position. They stay afloat, and they're going to be able to hold the line on the tier 3.
I think the other problem was possibly also the fact that they caught out the Nyx, which honestly probably not the hero they wanted to go after. Really wanted to catch Black in that. I mean, they've got to somehow isolate him and bring him down. But now he's working towards that Butterfly. Going to have it fairly soon. He's already got the Eagle Song. He's got a Satanic, a Monkey King Bar, a Black King Bar. I just don't think... I mean, unless they get a huge crit on him, I think it's going to become very difficult. The other problem is the huge crit is a nice thing, but the problem is they don't have good lockdown. And all he has to do is BKB and pop Satanic, and suddenly what the hell are they going to do? Hope for a second crit in a row, that's about all they can do. Or maybe Clockwork can latch him with a hook, but that's the big issue. Like, Clockwork can't spam the hook, he doesn't have the Argonym Scepter. So I just don't know what they're going to do to try and lock down Gyrocopter to prevent him from healing with Satanic. It's going to be a very difficult problem for them to tackle.
Yeah. So we do see a quick pause coming on through. Not exactly sure what it is about, but not the biggest deal in the world. The Scythe of Ice has been pretty impactful as far as how they've been able to engage on their initiations, but the problem is they don't really have much lockdown beyond that. Of course, if the Bear gets a bash, gets an entangle, that's a completely different story. But so far, you know, he hasn't been the biggest impact here. I still think that Mouz in a full flat-out 5v5 engagement, unless they get hit by a monstrous boat, are going to be able to come out on top. But as you've mentioned multiple times over, that ever-present potential for a Kunkka crit with Tidebringer, it looms. I mean, the second it happens, it is going to be just game-changing. And so we're going to be waiting, and Kunkka's just going to be trying to set it up as many times as possible until he finally actually makes it connect. Either way, from right now, I think the big thing that Alliance need to be moving towards to make sure that they can take the late game out, a little bit of durability on Clockwork so we can feel comfortable jumping on in, and a lot more aggressive ward coverage. Right now, Alliance have one down on the bottom rune spawn, and that's exactly it. They don't have any control over the enemy map, and that's mostly because of Paz's gem. So the Gem of True Sight really, really limiting their aggressive potential, and that means their focus has to be to win a fight. They have to get a single pick off and turn it into a really, really good engagement for them. Honestly, although Nyx is a little bit slippery, with a basic amount of detection and the X marks the spot, they should be able to bring him down as well. So target fire, make sure if it is an actual fight, focus the gyro. But otherwise, go in, pick off the Nyx, get the gem, get some map control, and try to actually get a grip on what's going on. Because if you keep letting Black farm, it's just going to get uglier and uglier and uglier as time goes by. And now they're both ready to go back on into it. We'll see how it plays on out the remainder. 41 minutes in, who do you think has the best chance to take this one match away?
I think Mouz, because right now the issue is, I mean, they want to get this, definitely, they want to get their pick off. The question is how? Because, like you said, the gem, they're losing so much map control, they can't really find a position to smoke gank them. It's going to be very difficult for them to figure this out. And the problem is, if they see someone without knowing where the rest of the team is, the big issue is, of course, they've always got to worry. Queen of Pain could jump them, they could get a relocate, and Nyx could come out of nowhere. He's got a blink, he's got invis. What are they going to do about that? It's going to be very easy for Mouz to suddenly turn the fight around. As it looks like, instead, they're just going to focus. I mean, this is the other issue, of course. They have no room to farm. They have to stick together. They're always worried about getting jumped. So with no room to farm, it's just no real way for them to catch up to the black playing the gyrocopter at the moment. And I mean, he's really starting to spiral away. 585 GPM, whereas Weaver really hasn't moved all that much from 446. Weaver definitely getting some decent farm, but he's just not really going to be able to catch the gyro, who's almost going to have his butterfly up in a moment as well. Almost has talent of evasion there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know. It's kind of that catch-22 that we're kind of cycling around a little bit. They need the vision to get the pick. They need the pick to get the gem. They need the gem to get the vision. And so it's just this kind of cycle that they're going to have to find a breaking point for. They need to find...
I think it's going to come down to they have to wait for Mouz to engage and then basically launch a perfect counter-attack off it. I think that's pretty much their only option here. Because, like you said, there's no real way for them to get active on the map. There's just too much danger getting picked off. And if they die and get picked off, that's a Rax, without a doubt. They've lost too many towers. Their bottom Rax is exposed. They cannot afford to have dumb luck screw them over.
So now 3 Ghost Scepters up, 2 BKBs as well. The Alliance are going to try to make their stand here, trying to hold the line on the melee Rex, which are just going to get pounded on if the bear gets close enough to his owner. But instead, X mark back, Torrent will come on through. They're going to have to bring down the bear very, very quickly. But here comes Blink of Hail coming in from pause. There's the initiation. EGM gets defensively disrupted before he gets dropped down. Weaver with the time-lapse, BKB active, pounding away at the Queen of Pain, forcing the Blink out. There's going to be the boat hitting on top of the bear once more, but they don't have any follow-through. EGM taking a lot of right-clicks here, and Black just doing too much. His Satanic is on cooldown. They might be able to keep him up, but no, Weaver is going to get dropped down. And now Black is just right-clicking away. Black cannon on the buildings, Black cannon on the heroes. And they just can't hold it. Going in, Tier 3 going to be pressured now, and Weaver, without buyback available, is just completely unable to do anything about this situation. So it's all on the Kunkka, looking for the crit. Shadowblade, EGM coming on in, but they have to get this set up here, and Koikova's already going to be able to get the TP out. Cogs will come on through, but it looks like nobody's going to get caught out. Only the bear being pulled in by the X marks the spot. The right clicks should bring it down. If they don't, they're in such a bad spot, but can't even, unfortunately, get the bear. They just got completely obliterated in that fight. Weaver getting picked off after he used his ultimate, and from there, yeah, a dead Weaver means that you're not going to have the damage you need. And of course, Black just showing what his farmed carry can do.
I've got to say, Mouse Sports made a very intelligent decision there. They saw EGM come forwards and then completely drilled him. See the X marks the spot, going to set up possibly no Black. In fact, not even going to care. Going to charge it. Gets hit by the demonic purge. Boat also coming through, but not going to be a big deal there. They will back off. But once they took EGM out of the picture, like they didn't get the kill, and they forced a ton of spells to go down specifically to try and save his life. Disruption, double heals there from Chen. He had to back off. He couldn't come back in, and without his crits, his ability to get in. I mean, he threw a bow short, but all he hit was the bear. Coco's rum is nice, but all he did was hit the bear pretty much. And then with him having to back out of the fight, they just had nothing to follow up on the damage. Weaver got then target fight after that and brought down. It was just nothing the Alliance could do after that. So I think really intelligent play there from Mouz. Alliance stepped forward a little bit too far, and Mouz made them pay for it really, really hard.
So
I mean, they probably, if anything, if they're going to throw anybody forwards, it probably should have been the Weaver, just because, I mean, at the very least, if they go for, if they jump Weaver and he gets hexed, you disrupt him. You can try and save him. And if Weaver takes a ton of damage, he then time lapses and then comes straight back into the fight, as opposed to Kunkka being forced to go back to the fountain and heal. While he heals back to full, it takes a lot of time comparatively, and in that time, you lose a Rax.
yeah. Also looking for a big test of faith in the next engagement. Might need it here on EGM. Gets Force Staff away. He will be okay. But, yeah, Call Down has been expended by Black. Gets X marks the spotted. But they don't want to jump on this. Maybe trying to scare out of BKB. But it's not going to work. Just stacking up the Shadow Poison over and over. But Bear taking a lot of hits here. He's going to get hit by the boat, and he is dropped down. So they lose the Bear. Going to have to resummon in just a few seconds. But in comes Queen of Pain. Jumping in. But the BKB comes on through. Weaver dueling it out with Black. Time-lapse pops off. Hand of God as well. S4 going to fall back from here. Needs a test of faith to get back to the base. Now we're going to see Admiral Bulldog go on in, though, and Force Staff on immediately trapping in pause, but not a hero you can single out. And now going on around the cogs, they're going to go and try to bring him down, but have really not getting anything out of it. Weaver gets bursted down by the Sonic Wave. There's Queen of Pain. Fata coming in from the side flank, getting the pick off there. We're looking for Kunkka buys back. They're going to get the test on Admiral Bulldog, who Ghost Sceptered up. He will survive, but yeah, at what cost? Now they've lost the racks, they've lost the heroes, and possibly just the game. Right here, Mouz laying into EGM, trying to make his last stand, but that Entangle says otherwise. He will drop. The tier 4s and the Ancient are theirs, and I believe this is GG.
There we go. It's been called S4 calling the GG. I mean, Alliance being handed their first defeat in a very long... I think this is the first defeat in 23 actually, because they beat Fnatic earlier on in the night. So, I mean, that's a fairly hefty defeat. That said, of course, we need to keep in mind Alliance, not their full lineup. So, I mean, all the Alliance fanboys probably holding onto that one very dearly, holding that point and shouting it out at the top of their lungs. But again, to take nothing away from Mouz, they played superbly in Game 1 and 3, played it very well indeed. I'm going to say Alliance, a very smart play, smart strategy in Game number 2, really gave them that game quite a lot, and allowed them to shut down the Gyrocopter. But it looks like Black, best hero Gyrocopter. I mean, he's played it so many times tonight to great effect.
Yeah, over and over and over, just stacking up that GPM and farming like crazy. A little bit, it was, like I said, it was a little bit of Alliance deciding to let him go for it. I mean, he had that pretty effective solo lane, and he just farmed away for a very long time. They didn't go for an aggressive tri lane a single time against him. And as a whole, Black farms on Gyrocopter, Black wins the game. So we'll see if they do figure out a way to shut him down more actively in the future. But for right now, this best of 3 concludes with Mousesports taking the win. They win the matchup 2-1. Yeah, on the back of Black and his amazing farm as well. Really, really good movement from Fata. Queen of Pain multiple times over was able to snipe up that Weaver, and those are clutch kills, especially when you're up against a BKB. So good movement there, good control of the map. They contested farm directly, and they controlled the map very, very well with the Nyx's gem. So I was really impressed by Paz today and his supportive play. Fata, of course, as always, really good for his initiation, and just in general, Mousesports taking it away and showing why they are not only have qualified for the international, but are believed by many to be in contention for at least the top 8 slots. So that'll be interesting to see. But for right now, Premier League Reaver Cup is concluding for this evening. We did see that there is a 3rd and 4th decider that we're not going to be able to go into today because of the delays and the 90-minute long games and such, but yeah, we will be seeing the decider, DD Dota versus, was it Evil Geniuses? Yeah, those two going at it on Thursday at, I believe it's 21 o'clock Central European Summertime. I'm not sure exactly how that translates into other times, but it'll be up on the Premier League website. And beyond that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do see number 1, the first place point values going to Mousesports, and number 2, Alliance this time around. Do you have any other concluding thoughts, not just on the match, but on the day as a whole?
Yeah, I feel really jealous of the people who just want an absolute crapload of rares off Mouz. I've lost so many recently, I feel really bad. But no, yeah, definitely. Mousesports, I'm looking forward to seeing them play in the TI3. Oh, my God, they are looking quite scary indeed. That said, of course, Alliance still, I mean, I want to see them full on. Where the hell was Loda? Just, I mean, Aki, I think it was Aki that said no idea. He just disappeared. So who knows?
For Kelly. I don't know. But, yeah, well, Loda kind of vanishing there. I'm going to see if we can do the interview thing. We did that a lot in the previous season. We're going to look at that. But I'll have to specifically talk with one of the members of Mousesports and get that figured out. So if you guys want to stay tuned for a little bit, we're going to try to do a little bit of Ask the Pros interview type stuff with one of the members of Mousesports, and they're in light of their victory here. But we'll see. Obviously, it's been a very long day for all the teams involved. but hopefully we'll be able to get at least a few words out of them. But thanks once again, Triumph, for joining me on this cast. Hopefully the individuals here, all the viewers, were able to enjoy the commentary, other than a couple technical issues at the very end there. So thanks again, and if you guys want to check us out as casters, just check us out. I myself am over at twitter.com/blazecasting, also under YouTube and Twitch of the same extension. And for you, are you under Triumph of Man?
Yeah, just on Twitter. I don't really keep a YouTube. It's more of a personal thing.
Sure enough, sure enough. Well, if you guys want to check us out, follow us on there as well. You can just check out the PremierLeague.eu and stay on top of when the cups are. Mostly they're going to be every single Sunday at around this same time frame. We go for like 10 hours straight. So awesome day of Dota. Very, very taxing, but very well worth it at the same time. So we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. And that's going to be it for us here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will be looking for an interview in just a little bit with one of the Mouz guys. Hopefully that will work out. We actually didn't get one last cup, but this one should work out hopefully. Anyways, thanks for tuning on in. Catch you guys on the next one.